colleagues and members of parliament, distinguished members of the Samagi Jana Balawega Economic Policy Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here today. We are all in the midst of an extremely critical time period, a turning point that presents immense challenges as well as incredible opportunities. But before we dive into that, I want to remind you of something. Throughout history, countries have faced the harsh realities of bankruptcy. They didn't just survive, they came back stronger. They used their crises as a springboard for change. And I believe with all my heart that Sri Lanka can do the same. I'm proud of the plan we presented, and I'm even more prouder of the capacity of the SJB team in executing this plan. It's not that Sri Lanka hasn't had its share of good ideas and plans. Over the years, we have seen plenty of plans that had the potential to elevate our nation. But let's be honest, lack of progress isn't due to a shortage of ideas. It is due to the lack of execution. Often, politics have stood in the way. Too often, political interests have clashed with what's best for the people. And that has been our biggest roadblock. Time and again, political opportunism has taken precedence over national interest. The cycle of broken promises and unfulfilled potential is why we have been stuck. Not because we lacked vision, but because that vision was often sacrificed for short-term political gain. The cost of this is not measured in just economic terms. It's the opportunities that we have lost, the talent that has left our shores, and the hope that's faded in our people. So it is extremely important to consider your vote in this particular context. Pay as much attention to the team as you pay to the plan. To break this cycle, we cannot afford shallow thinking. We need to really consider what it takes to create real change. And by that, I mean growth for Sri Lanka. Political factions and political identities created through branding exercises are only driven by self-interest and hype. they cannot provide the kind of change that we need. We need a clear, unified mandate, not one that's constantly compromising and adapting at the expense of countries' development. We must commence with comprehensive constitutional change. The challenges we face are complex, deeply rooted, fundamental, and they require urgent structural reforms. Real change demands the collective will of a strong majority in Parliament. There are no shortcuts. It's within this democratic framework that we can build a solid foundation, not just to address our current crises, but to safeguard the future generations to come. SJB is the only team with a clear plan. A strong team that possesses the political will to deliver the necessary reforms. And that is why today isn't just about presenting a political program. It's also showing you the blueprint for how we'll make these goals a reality. We stand firm in our integrity, and we urge you, especially in the business community, to think rationally. Look at the history of politics in Sri Lanka. A team that follows a leader only driven by self-interest and extreme selfishness will never have the political will to execute the constitutional reforms and the economic reforms needed to kickstart growth. It is why they cannot imagine anything beyond a measly 3% growth in the future. And we also have a team that promises system change without parliamentary strength to back it up. And they will not be able to deliver. Because we are all aware of the manner in which consistently, persistently, they have obstructed the much needed fundamental reforms which would have catapulted Sri Lanka into a country that would have achieved new industrialized status. So, they will eat their empty words. As such, it is imperative for us to understand the next steps of change and educate ourselves on what it takes so that we are better informed. We simply don't have the luxury of time. Time is not on our side, and we cannot experiment. This is a time to embark on a time-tested vision backed up by a superlative team that will make sure that we walk the talk. It is important that we have patience and also embrace the discomfort that comes with change. We will stand firm in our commitment to the constitutional and economic reforms that will transform our nation. Nothing can stop our growth except our own wishful thinking. It's time for all of us to step out of our comfort zone and consider the bigger picture. Our national security, our prosperity, our future, all of it hinges on economic security for everyone. It hinges on future stability. We promise you continuity and recovery along with change. Continue the excellent standards that we have achieved in certain sectors, but also embark upon path-breaking changes that are crucial if our country is to extricate itself from this present situation of despair. We promise to create robust engines of growth. We promise serious structural reforms, and we will ensure inclusive growth and shared prosperity. Anyone can make promises, but SJB possesses the only team that can deliver on this promise. So I urge all of you to go through the substance, the prescriptions provided in the blueprint, a blueprint that will take Sri Lanka towards prosperity. Thank you.